Nothing has made me feel more unattractive than trying to date in Vancouver. I literally feel like the ugliest person alive when I live there. The men just completely ignore you. And it's only when you leave where you're like, oh my god, am I actually not ugly?
Do you believe in love at first sight, or should I maybe pass by again?
Leave, please.
Well, I've officially seen it all. My first 0 out of 10 date. This man left me at the restaurant while I was in the bathroom.
Why do men like you the most when you really don't like them? Like when you're in peak not interested, they're obsessed with you.
If I was a man, I would not want to be providing for any of you bitches. And that's not a slight against women, I swear. I just genuinely, if I was a man, I wouldn't want to be a provider. Like if I got born a man, I wouldn't be devoting my life on how I could be a good husband or boyfriend. That sounds so freaking boring.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Pearl Chronicle.
Nothing has made me feel more unattractive than trying to date in Vancouver. I literally feel like the ugliest person alive when I live there. The men just completely ignore you. And it's only when you leave where you're like, oh my god, am I actually not ugly? Like, do people find me attractive? The men in Vancouver just have a huge level of indifference. And it's because they can get away with just sliding in someone's DMs and being like, hey, what are you up to tonight? Like, these are boys, these are not men. And then you leave and you meet a man who like will plan a date, will book a reservation, will make a move. And you're like, whoa. So men still exist. And you don't have to be the parent or like the masculine role. I just don't want to waste my 20s feeling like I'm the most unattractive person alive. That's how I feel in Vancouver dating.
Women spent years rewarding toxic dudes and ignoring disciplined men. Now the same men they overlooked are walking away completely. That panic you hear is consequences.
Well, I've officially seen it all. My first 0 out of 10 date. This man left me at the restaurant while I was in the bathroom. I think I'm gonna hang it up for a while. Yep, I don't have anything left to give. But if I'm honest, I never should have gone on the date in the first place. Everything was telling me not to. Everything. The signs were there, but I was like, I'll give him a chance. Nope. Follow your gut. Follow your gut. Everything was going fine. This guy and I had been talking for like 3 or 4 days. He asked me out to dinner for this weekend, today. Chose a cute little Cuban spot, made the plans, we figured out the time, all that jazz. He doesn't live here in Charlotte. It was about an hour and a half outside of Charlotte, so he drove in and got a hotel for the night. Where the problem started is he texted me this. I read that and I was like, oh, absolutely not. So I responded with this. And ever since that point, the vibes just turned in our conversation.
She said give him a chance like she was doing him a favor. Modern dating got some women thinking men should invest everything while they bring attitude and entitlement to the table.
Last night, a man invited me over to his house to watch Christmas movies. Less than 24 hours after we matched on a dating app. And then when I told him no, he immediately unmatched me. And so I started thinking I should have just went. I should have just did it for the plot. I should have taken him up on his offer and went to his house to rob him, because men have to learn about personal safety at some point in their life.
He unmatched because you said no. That's called moving on, not a crime. But the fact she instantly jumped to robbing a man tells you everything about the mindset ruining dating today.
Do you believe in love at first sight, or should I maybe pass by again?
Leave, please.
This is exactly what you deserve. A rejection. Interrupting a man's peace of mind from nowhere, yet in actual sense, he is going to incur your expenses and bill is just out of hand. Vamoose, bitch.
Why do men like you the most when you really don't like them? Like when you're in peak not interested, they're obsessed with you. But when you like a guy, he could not want to be further away from you. Like, why do the guys that you don't like love you?
Because the guys you don't like are usually the ones giving you free validation, attention, and effort. The men you actually want have options too, and they're not chasing desperation.
A third of men, 33%, a little over a third, of men between the ages of 18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner. So I've got a question for the men. So my comments are filled with guys saying we're done. We're not looking, we like our peace. I need some more talk from you guys. Tell me why you're done.
Men checked out because modern dating became high risk, low reward. A lot of guys realize they get more peace, more money, and less stress staying single.
One day, you're gonna wake up wishing you had thrown more ass, had shown more nipples while your tits were still perky. So start living life without regrets. Let them nipples be free while you still can.
Modern women told men to live without regrets, and now men are doing exactly that, focusing on themselves instead of sacrificing everything for relationships that don't value them.
I am in a room of like 100 men, and not one of them has approached. I just think men this day and age don't want to date.
Because men are no longer falling for it. They are no longer just throwing out their money at women that do not take them seriously. They are no longer willing to waste their time, effort, and resources. And I think that this is a win. Because men should be cautious. They have a lot to lose. It is why I always recommend that before they get invested into a woman, that they do a public data check on a trusted website like publicdatacheck.com. That is where so many of the red flags can be filtered out, and a lot of men can save a lot of their time.
This is what happens when men stop leading with desperation. A lot of guys are waking up, vetting properly, and refusing to invest in women who only see them as free attention or free experiences.
I don't think there's much worse than the wrong guy wanting you. Like the guy that you don't want doing all the romantic gestures that the guy you do want isn't doing. I had this situation happen to me when I was out with my girls. I ran into this like one guy that's been like very, very heavily pursuing me for the last like month, I want to say. Very sweet guy. I'm not in a place where I'm looking for anything new with somebody. And so the girls and I are out at this like private party, and he happens to be there, and he invites us over to his booth, and we're like enjoying our night with them, but like it's very clear I'm not interested. I'm not really giving him any signals that I'm, interested in him and stuff. But this guy just keeps trying. Throughout the night, among other things, I could feel him like staring at me. Like when somebody stares at you like they're in love? I could like feel his like eyes like piercing into my head. And like the amount of times my girls were like, Ellen, he's literally staring at you like this man's in love with you right now. And I'm like, I know, get him to fucking stop. I told him like 50 times, I'm like, I'm not looking for a relationship, I'm not ready. He's like, well, when you're ready, let me know because I'm taking you out. Very bold. There's nothing wrong with it. But just having like this guy like looking at me like he's in love with me when he's not the person that I want, I was like, am I in hell? Like, I feel like he said all the things that if the right person said that, I would literally drop my pants. Like, but because he's just not him, like, I'm like, save me. This is such a curse of a girl. The guy you want doesn't want you, but the guy that wants you, you don't want him. If I could force attraction or force myself to be emotionally available, I would, trust me.
For years, men were mocked for having standards. Now suddenly, caution is called wisdom. Men are finally realizing attention, time, and money are valuable resources too.
No, because one thing about me is I will reject so many men because I have standards and then somehow still pick the worst man to ever walk this planet. Like, make it make sense.
High standards mean nothing if you still end up picking the worst option in the room. At some point, it's not bad luck, it's ignoring your own judgment when it actually matters.
If I was a man, I would not want to be providing for any of you bitches. And that's not a slight against women, I swear. I just genuinely, if I was a man, I wouldn't want to be a provider. Like, if I got born a man, I wouldn't be devoting my life on how I could be a good husband or boyfriend. That sounds so freaking boring. Like, if I was a dude, I would basically be doing what I'm doing as a woman, which is focusing on travel, which would eat up all my money, so I would not be able to take anybody on dates. I'd spend money on video games and concerts, and women would think I was a bum-ass bitch, and I'd be okay with it. But I think men are their own autonomous beings, and they should be focusing on their creative passions and themselves, basically, instead of focusing on roles they can be for women. The same way, I think that women should be focusing on themselves instead of who they are to men. Like, as a woman in this world, I literally don't care if men find me valuable or if I'd be a good wife or a good girlfriend. I'm not thinking about men when I make my own decisions. I'm thinking about myself. Women and men are complex human beings with their own agency and interests in life. They should be focusing on that, not each other.
So basically, when women say we don't need men, it sounds empowering until reality hits and most of life still runs on cooperation, not isolation. Independence is fine. Denying interdependence is where things get unrealistic.
This is better consider relief.
No, please don't go.
No.
Please stay, please stay.
No, I mean, you held that from me. Like, you intentionally didn't tell me that.
I'm sorry. Like, please don't go.
No. Hopefully you told the next guy you had a kid before 6 months.
6 months? What did you do? Did you stuff your children in a closet somewhere? I mean, at least their stuff. You must have hid their stuff. Because you cannot seriously date somebody for 6 months and hide the evidence that you are a mother and that you have children. You would have to hide their stuff. You would have to lie about where you are and what you did in a day. You would have to lie about a huge part of your history. So I'm on his side because at that point, it is not just that you were not transparent. You were actually hiding things actively. And I think that man handled it perfectly well. He was calm, controlled, well-mannered. He didn't bash her. He didn't insult her. He just said it as it is, and he was taking himself out of the situation. And honestly, he could have been way more upset because he probably put in so much time and effort into this relationship within that 6 months that this sort of thing would feel like somewhat of a betrayal. That man obviously deserved better, and he knew it, so he made the king move.
This is one of the reasons as to why more men have decided to opt out on women and go their own way. Every time you think you're doing a good thing for the women, they do something weird and stupid.
Unmarried, very chic. Married to one person successfully, One divorce kind of gives low class. It's giving custody battle. It's giving passive aggressive Facebook status. 2 divorces, kind of chic again. 3 divorces, that's the coolest, classiest person you know.
So now instability is being rebranded as chic. At some point, that's not elegance, it's just a pattern of failed commitment being dressed up as personality.
Today's men are sassy.
We got a low tire in the vet.
All these men out here. And we say, can y'all help us put air in the tire? Not one of them. Not one of them. Not one of them just ignored everything.
Blatantly ignored.
But you know what? It's okay because I got it. Thanks for your help, my guy. And then instead of taking like 5.5 seconds, just top ours off real quick. Oh, my guy's gonna make us wait till he gets his whole car pumped up. Yep. Thanks for your help.
I cannot.
Not helping with air in the tire isn't disrespect, it's priorities. Men aren't ignoring women, they're just not built to be on-call service providers for every situation anymore.
Supposed to have a first date tonight, and he just unmatched me on Bumble, so I guess we're not going to get drinks anymore. But I thought I would show you guys my outfit so somebody saw it.
If you can get unmatched before drinks even happen, that says more about the app than the man. At this point, men are learning not to invest too early in digital plans that can disappear instantly.
So another thing that men are not taught is that you have to proactively find your wife over and over and over again. She had a baby, you got a new wife. You have a second baby, you have a new wife. A parent passed away, you have a new wife. When y'all moved, you have a new wife. A job change, you got a new wife. So yeah, it's gonna take a while to be able to synthesize all those versions that you observed over the years to finally zoom in on the core of who she is. Because values change, beliefs change, character can shift and change, love languages change, right? So it's really the goal. When men feel like the goalpost is moving, it's because it is. It really is. We are moving the goalposts, right? We have talking about hormonal fluctuations. You have 4 different versions of a woman in 1 month, right?
If the expectation is that a man has to constantly relearn who she is through every life change, don't be surprised when men stop signing up. Stability matters too, not just constant emotional updates.